Good morning, Vietnam. Video about AI and moon landing. Okay, the lie of moon landing and how AI managed this. Okay, AI is the general concept. Okay, it is a huge potential for this humanity. Crazy. I will make a video about the potential, especially the one that interests me. It's education of children. Education of children. We'll let it for another video, but we talk about AI in those models that they give us to interact with and ask for information, and how they are tuned around certain subject to defend the lie. Okay, in this case we are talking about the moon landing. Okay, moon landing, first of all, guys, people who have no engineering background, no scientific level, when they believe the shit, I have like kind of compassion. It doesn't really, you know, triggers me or something. You know, I don't get upset because it's the mainstream, and they don't know how stuffs work. But any engineer, any guy with a scientific background, shame on you. It's very simple. It's shameful to believe this shit. Okay, I give you an example. If myself, I start a company and I need to make something, anything, a car, a product, and I need to hire engineers, I think it will be my test. Okay, the engineer is sitting in front of me. What do you think about moon landing? It's a beautiful achievement for humanity. Bye bye. We will call you later. Okay, just go. Fuck off. Okay, the engineer that tell me this is completely bullshit. It's enough. Hire this guy. You are on my team. Okay, to make the car. Okay, so this guy is connected to what he sees. His science, his understanding. When he sees this bullshit, he's connected of what he is, his knowledge, his skills with what he sees. So he's not an NPC. Okay, this guy, he knows how to calculate pressures, and he sees how the stuff is made, and there is vacuum and atmospheric pressure. He knows, and he applies it to what he sees. So this is not a robot. This is a real human being, possibly a very smart human being, which is a good guy to have on my team. Okay. So, like I said, okay, I have no problem with people believing this shit with no scientific background. But when there is science background, there is no excuses, guys. No excuses. So let's go back to this moon landing shit. There is always a point where you cannot deny. Okay, it's so ridiculous, it doesn't work. Okay, without getting very much complicated and arguing a lot, it is how to keep a human being in vacuum with those suits. Okay, so space suits, they have to keep a human being in living condition. That means in air inside. Okay, the problem is when you have vacuum outside and you have 1 atmospheric pressure inside, you have 14 pounds per inch of pressure to the outside. This kind of pressure destroys fuel tanks. Okay, there is accidents of vacuum, they call them. If there is less pressure inside the fuel tank, it collapses, and you can see this on internet. I already showed you. I even posted the video here how 14 pounds per square inch crushes a fuel tank, a thick steel tank, you know, like, I don't know, like centimeters or something of steel. Okay, just crushed, you know, implosion. Okay, so a suit made by there is a woman, they show her as the hero of NASA. She made those suits with her sewing machine, you know. There is a photo of her. I will find the photo and post the link. Okay, so this is ridiculous. Okay, so this is how it works with NPCs. There is a sequence I use on NPCs, and I studied them, and they're all the same. They all follow the same. They go Google, or they are machines themselves, and they spit the same sequence of responses to my arguments. Okay, so how the suit can handle 14 pounds of pressure per inch to the outside? How is it with fabric? No, it's not 14, it's not 1 atmospheric, it's a third. So this is all, they're automatic. They go Google and they tell you it's just a third of atmospheric pressure. All of them, all the NPCs. The AI does the same, okay? To this level, they say the same stuff. A third, but and then you ask, how can you breathe a third pressure of air? How is it possible? Okay, it is enriched in oxygen, so it's a third pressure enriched with oxygen. Guys, first of all, a third of this pressure doesn't solve the usability of the suit, okay, of the suit as something you can move inside and do work outside. You cannot do. People replicate this kind of pressure with the fabric suit. It doesn't work. It will be pushing 5 pounds per inch square to the outside. You cannot work in this, okay? If ever it can be done technically, you cannot work, okay? So they tell you it's a third, but it doesn't solve. Okay, it's enriched in oxygen. Okay, and in their head, a human being can shift from 1 atmosphere to a third, like no problem. Okay, like you are, you know, when you are in a plane, the plane is, they are struggling to keep it at atmospheric pressure for you to be able to survive, because there is low pressure where you are up in the sky, and you feel all this discomfort in your ears. Okay, and this is when it is trying to keep the normal pressure inside the airplane. So we have an astronaut that suddenly jumped from 1 atmosphere to a third, enriched in oxygen. Not only doesn't work, enrich or not, because you will have problems. You know, there is accident of divers. They come from high pressure up to a lower pressure. They die. Okay, they have to be kept under certain pressure, and then slowly decrease the pressure. And we have suddenly this guy, cosmonaut, jumping from 1 atmosphere in his module to a suit which is a third, like no problem. Okay, you cannot live in the third atmosphere. It's very difficult. Okay, till now it's the same responses. So they don't compute. Like human being cannot live in this kind of pressure. A third of pressure is and here I added with here I stop with the NPCs. You know it's NPCs and they are not interesting. But what is interesting is the AI. So I add this question: AI, does the voice of a human being sound the same at a third of an atmospheric pressure? Okay, if the air is less dense, how do you speak? How do your voice sound? You may have experienced it in the airplanes, you know, when you try to talk to each other and stuff. You know, in 1 atmosphere, slightly kept, you know, more or less, and you have problem in your ears and pain and stuff. Okay, when you climb with your car in the mountain, you feel this. I was with my friend, we go up the mountains and I feel pain in my ears just by the changing of the pressure, okay? With the car climbing, okay? Okay, so I ask the AI, since in her mind also 1 human being can live in a third of atmospheric pressure, not only live, but quickly shift from 1 atmosphere to a third. I ask, does the voice sound the same? Okay, this guy who said to you, small Mac for the moon and a Big Mac for the man. This guy, does he sound different? Does he sound in a third of atmospheric pressure? Okay, there is discomfort here. Does he say, oh, I am in a third, I just jumped from 1 atmosphere, I have pain? No, he speaks normally. He cracks a joke, they run, they laugh. Okay, so I asked the AI, does the voice sound the same if there is a third of atmospheric pressure? And the AI starts hallucinating lies, guys. Here you see that there is a parameter. You have to defend this lie. So the AI says, yeah, there is a electronic correction. Sometimes one of the models said it corrected, technically corrected the sound so they can understand its order. The cosmonaut, spationaut does an effort to sound normal I had also this from from one of the AIs. You can try this sequence of of question to see how this AI is made to defend a lie. Okay, so I had this kind of stuff, like there is electronic correction, the stuff does an effort, it's corrected after the recording, and it starts hallucinate like a liar, a compulsive liar. So in this case, AI is just a liar defending a lie, and you know when a liar lie over a lie and over a lie, it becomes ridiculous at a certain moment. You can try this sequence. So this was comparing the NPCs, the robot NPCs, and the AI, which in this the model AI, of course, which acts exactly like the NPC, but even with more sophistication. Because if I asked, does the voice sound the same, they will not find it in Google, okay? And they will freeze. They will stop. For example, they were usually they tell you some names when you question. You are moron. You are this. You are. But when you ask this question, they disappear because there is not the answer in Google. They may Google, it doesn't happen. So they block the program. NPC is blocked, but the AI will respect you. A little bit of disdain. Okay, they're like, you are little, you don't know, and invent lies proudly. Okay, like no shame. There is no shame in this AI because it's not a human being. So it continues with with keeping its face and everything. So corrected electronically. Corrected after the recording. The cosmonaut is doing an effort to speak clearly and everything. So yeah, so this was the point, guys, to talk about this AI. Remember, this is just a model, but the concept of AI, like I said, there is great potential. Okay, I spoke about it in how it can fast the evolution, the human evolution, and also exposing the lies. It can also be a turbo into exposing the lies. When everybody can make anything, any video that seems totally real, who's gonna believe the news anymore? So it's a crazy times we are living, guys. I will continue on this subject, possibly the education sides, which interests me a lot. Education of children. I have seen so many children left behind. I was the kind who kind of learn fastly, adapt fastly the mathematics, but there was kids left behind, not because they were not smart, but because the system didn't care of their kind of intelligence. Me, I was more like a submitted kid, okay? But there was a bright kids that couldn't access to knowledge. And now with this AI, I will talk how this could change everything in a crazy way. I do it the next video. See you in the next video. See you.